The consent agenda.
Hello, we'd like to reconvene with all members present. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We have 2 minutes for approval. May I get a motion for the executive minutes of May 23rd?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Okay. Mr. Catalanello?
Yes?
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
May I get a motion for the regular minutes of May 23rd, 2016?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Catalanello?
Yes?
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for attending today. This is for the first time in 6 years we've had both the mayor and at least 6 years that I've been on council, the mayor and the council president absent. So it falls to the most senior person, and that's me. We have a pretty light agenda tonight, so we'll get right into it. We'll start with reports from committees. Mr. Rowe will be doing utilities, but he's requested to go at the end. So I will start with health, if that's okay with everyone. Okay, the Madison Health Department urges residents to reduce areas in their property that could attract rodents and mosquitoes. The Health Department has received numerous complaints about rat sightings and properties that are potential breeding grounds for mosquitoes. The Health Department is encouraging Madison residents to be aware of steps they can take to ensure the health and safety of themselves and their neighbors by keeping their properties well maintained. To prevent mosquitoes from breeding and becoming a nuisance, please follow these steps. Unclog your rain gutters, cover trash cans, clean out bird baths and stagnant fountains, repair leaky hoses, and maintain small ponds. To prevent rodents in your yard, it's important that you deny the food source, so please use hard-sided trash containers, plastic or metal cans, and prevent garbage leakage. Make sure that all your garbage containers have tightly fitting lids. Please remove any ripe fruits or vegetables from your home garden. Eliminate water sources. Please use humane traps. Remove any accumulated garbage or debris. Elevate any stacked wood. Or please consult a professional exterminator. The Madison Health Department will take legal actions on any properties that do not attempt to alleviate these issues. Please contact the Health Department if you have any questions. Thank you very much. Finance and Borough Clerk, Mr. Landrigan.
Thank you. From the tax collector, we anticipate that the third quarter tax bills will be mailed on or before July 15th with a payment due date of August 1st. Please keep your eyes out for the bill in your mail. Our normal 10-day grace period will apply. As in past years, these bills will include the final payments for the third and fourth quarter of this year and preliminary payments for the first and second quarter of next year. Residents that will be away during the second half of July have 2 options. First, you can pay your property taxes online at any time from anywhere by logging into www.rosenet.org and clicking on Online Bills. Make sure you have your bank account and routing number ready, as well as your property, block, and lot number. If that option does not work for you, then the tax collector can calculate an estimated bill that you can pay before you leave town. If you have any questions, please call the tax collector's office at 973-593-3056 or email taxcollector@rosenet.org. Now, some people may ask why the delay in getting the bills out and why the short turnaround time between the bill is mailed and when it is due. The tax collector must wait until the New Jersey legislature passes the state budget to confirm the municipal aid, and then the borough must wait until Morris County calculates and releases the tax bill. Thank you for your patience, and that's it.
Thank you very much. Public safety, Ms. Vitale.
Thank you. This is a report from the fire department. On Monday, June 13th, the fire department was allowed to train in a residential house on North Street prior to it being torn down. They were able to drill on hose line advancements, roof ventilation, self-rescue techniques from a basement through a basement window. Also, the fire department will be marching in the Chatham 4th of July parade this year, probably with Geraldine, so go down and see them. From the police department, on June 13th, the Madison Police Department promoted 3 officers to the rank of sergeant. Sergeant Paul Kozakowski will assume command of the Detective Bureau. Sergeant Edward Mitchko will assume command of Patrol Squad D, and Sergeant Lisa Esposito will assume command of Patrol Squad B. The Madison Police Department established an Internet transaction safety zone in Borough Lot 3, which is adjacent to the parking lot on Kings Road. The Internet transaction safety zone will give our residents a relatively safe area to conduct Internet transactions. Although police personnel will not oversee or mediate the actual transactions, they will be in the shadows of the safe area, helping to keep our residents safe. This area is monitored by police security cameras 24 hours a day and is clearly delineated with signs and pavement striping. Residents are encouraged to utilize this area for sales and purchases via sites like Craigslist, eBay, etc. Conducting the exchange in our safety zone will lessen the likelihood of our residents becoming a victim through common sense should still be used. Chief Datchison suggested the following tips. Only conduct transactions with local buyers, sellers. Do not go to a transaction alone. Make sure a friend or family member is aware of the transaction details. Insist on meeting in a public area like a designated safety zone. Do not go into someone else's house and do not allow them into yours. Complete the transaction during daylight hours. Be extra cautious when buying or selling valuable items such as vehicles and jewelry. Trust your instinct. If it sounds like a scam, it probably is. If someone is not willing to come to the police department to conduct a transaction, then it's likely not a legitimate transaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Community Affairs, Ms. Bailey.
Thank you. Recreation. The Dodge Field basketball courts are now complete as resurfacing and repainting are finished and the pole pads are installed. We went with the Dodger maroon and gold for the surface. The Madison Basketball Association's Youth League will be playing the first official games on the new courts this Wednesday night. We are currently hosting 11 different rental groups this summer, and revenue collected has now exceeded $30,000. The 2016 Nature Nuts program began today and will run at Memorial Park for 6 weeks. Anyone who wishes to register can simply stop by Nature Nuts where it's being held at the Memorial Park between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. The summer theater program operated by our local theater company held their auditions over the past couple of weeks. Information on their shows will be coming out shortly. From the Senior Citizen Center, the outdoors, the Senior Center's Friends Group is again undertaking support of the Civic Center's garden located adjacent to the parking lot. Small That's All will clean out the overgrown areas and plant boxwood, finca, azaleas, and ornamental grasses, as well as provide routine maintenance. The cleanup helps create a positive first impression not only for the Senior Center, but the Health Department and Adult School as well. And the Senior Center, along with the library, sponsoring the lecture series, the summer series, and the first one is being given by Kathleen Gollop at 10 a.m. July 7th on the Homestead Historic Landscape Legacy in New Jersey. And finally, the Downtown Development Commission's Farmers Market is in full swing every Thursday from 2 to 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rowe, will you please do utilities and public works and engineering?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start with utilities from the Water Department. Water samples have been taken for state-mandated testing for total coliform, E. coli, and volatile organic compounds. And also the water main was shut down for the first phase of the KRE project, which is the reconstruction of the Green Village Road School. Also have a report from the Shade Tree Management Board. The Department of Public Works and Shade Tree Management Board have completed the 2016 Spring Tree and Parks Planting Program. 105 public trees were planted throughout Madison. 23 trees were replaced on Ridgedale Avenue by an outside contractor as part of the Ridgedale reconstruction project. Please look for a color wave of red buds next spring. Next, of the 128 new trees, 17 residents declined having a tree planted in the borough right-of-way, which we honor even though the borough code permits us to do the planting. And on tree maintenance, the board and borough continue to have problems with protection of trees, town trees during building construction. There are a number of sites that need corrective action or the borough tree will need to be replaced in 2 to 3 years at the borough's expense. And from the engineering department, on roads, Cefelli and Sons Construction completed drainage and curbing work at Kinney and West Streets over the past 2 weeks. Subcontractor Revax Construction finished the water utility work on Cross Street last Friday. Cefelli is currently working on drainage and curbing improvements on Cross Street. Public Service Electric and Gas has scheduled a gas main replacement on Kinney and West Streets this week, and residents should be aware of the need to schedule service access with them to allow the final paving to be completed as soon as possible. There's a good possibility that this is going to push that portion of the project back a bit. Downtown paver reset and planner reconstruction work required us to send a letter to the State Historic Preservation Office, and that was sent in the last week. It was also copied to the Madison Historic Preservation Committee for review and comment. And finally, Prospect Street reconstruction bids were advertised last week for bids that are due on July 28th. From the sewer department, plans and specs for both the new North Street pump station and for the sanitary sewer inspection and repair project were advertised last week with bids due July 26th. Buildings, the Morris County Historic Preservation Trust has agreed to be a partial funding partner for the design of improvements in and around Hartley Dodge Memorial Building in the coming year. In parks, on July 18th, Baller Construction will start work on the Billy Ellard site remediation project. And last but not least, for Public Works, bid documents are being assembled for expanded fuel storage capacity at the John Street complex. We expect the bid to be advertised within the next 2 weeks. That's everything. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Having concluded reports from committees, we will go on to communications and petitions.
None received.
Thank you very much. We're now moving to the first of two discussion periods. I'm going to open the meeting to the public for your opportunity to ask questions and make comments on any discussion items that are on the agenda, which will be we're pulling the fire rules and regulations. That's been pulled.
Yes.
Or resolutions. Upon recognition by the chair, if you care to make a comment, that you state your name and residence, and try to keep your comment to a reasonable period of time, give or take 3 minutes. Any? None? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to ordinances for hearing.
Ordinances scheduled for hearing were introduced by title and passed on the first reading at a regular meeting of the council held on June 13, 2016. All were posted and filed according to law, and copies were made available to the general public requesting same.
Thank you very much. I will call up ordinance 49-2016, ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Chapter 195 of the Madison Borough Code entitled Land Development Ordinance of the Borough of Madison regarding the PCD-O zone. Open the hearing. Seeing no comments, I'll close it.
I move ordinance 49-2016.
Second.
Any council discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Catalanello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 49-2016 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. I'll now call up ordinance 50-2016, ordinance of the Borough of Madison. Am I supposed to?
Would you like?
Go right ahead, yeah. I'm ahead of myself,
That's all right.
I just get
As
too
long as
lazy to
either
stop.
one of
I
us.
apologize.
Okay.
Go right
So
ahead.
we're going to do ordinance 50, 2016, which is ordinance of the Borough of Madison, amending ordinance 2, 2016, which appropriated $33,500 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for Environmental Engineering Services at the Hartley Dodge Memorial to increase the appropriation from $33,500 to $73,500.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to open the hearing to the public, please. No one? Close the hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I move ordinance 50-2016.
I'll second it.
Any council discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Mr. Catalonello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 50-2016 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law.
Ordinance 51, 2016, ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Section 185-29 of the Borough Code to prohibit parking on a portion of the east side of Highland Avenue during school and sporting events at the Madison Junior School.
I'd like to open the hearing for the public. No discussion. Close that.
I move ordinance 51-2016.
Second.
Any council discussion? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Catalonello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 51-2016 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Okay, now we move on to the second invitation for discussion. This is where the public has the opportunity to comment on anything they would like. If you, again, I would remind you, if you come up and you'd like to speak, please state your name and your address for the record. Okay, since we have no discussion, we'll move on to the introduction of ordinances.
Ordinance is scheduled for first reading. Have a hearing date set for July 11, 2016. All will be published in the Madison Eagle, posted on the bulletin board, and made available to members of the public requesting copies.
I would like to ask the clerk to read it said ordinance by title, please.
Ordinance 52, 2016, ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending and supplementing certain affordable housing provisions of Chapters 195-46, 195-47, 195-48 of the Madison Borough Code entitled Land Development Ordinance.
I move ordinance 52-2016.
A second.
Any council discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Catalonello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
We move on to consent agenda resolutions.
Oh, we have,
Oh, we have one more?
Ordinance 53 has been added to the...
I apologize.
Okay. Ordinance 53, 2016 is an ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $100,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for fuel storage expansion at the Department of Public Works.
Mr. Mayor, I believe it's my duty to move ordinance 53-2016.
I'll second it.
Council discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Catalonello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Now we move on to consent agenda resolutions.
The consent agenda resolutions will be enacted with a single motion. Any resolution requiring expenditure is supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any resolution requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All resolutions will be reflected in full in the minutes.
And I believe we've pulled resolution 203, correct?
I'll move resolution R197 through R202 and R204 through R211.
Second.
Any council discussion? Seeing none, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Catalonello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Any unfinished business?
You want to finish business?
Approval of vouchers, please.
Okay, I'll read the totals. Public safety is $36,362.55. Health and public assistance, $3,085.66. Public works and engineering, $192,666.37. Community Affairs, $631.39. Finance and Borough Clerk, $4,239,187.08. Utilities, $737,751.31. The total is $5,211,684.63.
I move the vouchers.
Second.
Vote?
Mr. Catalanello?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
As there is no new business,
And with that, I move that we close the shortest meeting I've ever been at.
That's a record.
Nice
time. Tex, you did it.
Should all do that.
Nice time. To say what? Say back. Text Matt, tell him he needs to get here.
I'm going to let you run every meeting.
I can get it, yeah, don't worry. I get everybody. It's my other job.
What?
I got you, I got Ben.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was very good.
sign all this.
Mayor, I can do it.
Yes.